Earls here. Thanks for coming on today's episode. This week, like every week, I'll be talking about natural living and healthy tips that will get you to rethink how you live and what products or habits you can easily change to better your life. So let's get started. Hey guys, before we get started, just want to welcome all those new to the podcast. I hope you guys gain some useful knowledge as we start today. So our topic is New Year, New Resolutions. And this is an article actually I'll be reading from Jeff Hamilton. I love his ideas for making New Year's resolutions that will last. So if you guys want to read the article, go to heatherearls.com/New Year's. Otherwise, have a listen and gain some useful tips. So here we go. There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. That's from Ecclesiastes 4:1. It's that time of year. One year is fixing to leave and another one looms over the horizon with the promise of a fresh start. We approach the date with anticipation, hoping to achieve our dreams this time. That enthusiasm, however, it's gone by January 31st, and out with normal selves we go. Well, to prevent that, this podcast is going to give you the cutting-edge tools to achieve your goals this year. Let this be the year you achieve your dreams and the results you want. But for now, let's clarify a few definitions and realities. First, dreaming is good, but a dream will remain just a dream if we don't set a realistic deadline to achieve it. A goal is a dream with a deadline. Remember that. Second, objectives are part of a larger goal. Many steps, if you would. Third and final are the tasks. Tasks are the little actions you take to achieve your objectives. So goal characteristics. Number 1, goals are written. A goal not written down is hope, and hope is not a strategy. Number 2, goals are concrete and specific. I have better relationships with kids is lofty and fluffy as a cloud dream. I get home earlier so I can have dinner with my family and play with my kids. It's a much better objective. Number 3, goals are yours, no one else's. For example, you can't have a goal for your husband to be more romantic. You can, however, drop hints with fireworks, neon signs, write it on a sign by the highway, leave him a detailed recording and YouTube video, etc., etc. You get my drift. For him to include it on his. Number 4, goals are realistic. Way too often we set out to achieve goals with unrealistic expectations and pat ourselves in the back when we achieve our self-fulfilling prophecy of gloom and doom. Nature follows an order. If you set out to lose 100 pounds in 15 days, it's not only improbable but also dangerous. Goals have a deadline. That's number 5. I pay off half of my credit card debt. Is a great idea, but not so much if it takes half of your lifetime. Okay, goal achieving process. Number 1, don't write down 100 things, but a few or no more than 5 in each functional area of your life, like spirituality, relationships, finances, health, etc. Number 2, establish a tracking/planning system. There's lots of planning systems out there, or you can go online. Franklin Covey Planners is one that you can look up. There's also an app that you can look up, and it's called Life Ticker. Okay, at the heart of the system is the breakdown of goals into manageable units. Those are just a couple ones you can look for out there, you guys. Okay, so let's keep moving on. For example, I want to lose 20 pounds by June 2017, a concrete and realistic goal. Objective 1, I read at least 2 books on nutrition and fitness. Task 1, I visit the library, download books, or visit the bookstore by January 7th. Task 2, using this information, I create a nutrition and workout plan. Objective 2, I join a gym or fitness club if you are more of an extrovert. Task 1, I look for signing up deals and offers. Task 2, I read reviews of my local fitness trainers. And then objective 3, I set aside and schedule a time for working out and make it a priority. And then the task 1, I commit myself to set aside time for working out. I put it on my planners and make an appointment with myself. Task 2, I recruit and or get the buy-in from my friends and family for moral support, allowing me to take time for myself to do this. Now objective 4, get going, measure and record my progress. I adjust and change the things that aren't working. And you guys, that's just one example of many, how you can break it down into mini goals so you actually accomplish them. Now, here's a technique you won't find anywhere else, and it's at the heart of the writings. It's called task hacking. Now, during your planning process, you carefully study a task, break it down into pieces, and research different ways of getting things done faster and more efficiently, seeking the best results possible. This is done through 2 different techniques. Number 1, deliberate practice. This technique is at the heart of mastery. It's focusing on the now and the mechanics of the process of whatever you are doing rather than the results. It's a very zen and mindful approach. Focus on improving every step of the process rather than the result. Number 2, modeling. Look for the masters in the subject of whatever you are trying to get done or learning and model their behavior and techniques. Then, as William James used to write about, act as if. Combining these powerful techniques, you will be plowing through tasks at unstoppable speeds. Now remember, tasks are what objectives are made of, and objectives are what goals are made of. Using task hacking, you can achieve your goals faster than ever. Okay, so goals manifestation. 1, keep an eye on your goals. I mean this literally. Carrying them with you, have a copy by your bed, make a point to read them first thing in the morning, sometimes midday, maybe at your lunchtime, and before you go to bed. Do this every day. Now, visualize your goals. Imagine yourself achieving your goals. Feel that feeling of accomplishment that comes with it. Allow yourself to take an advance payment of that victory feeling. I highly recommend creating a vision board. John Assaraf called the complete vision board, in which he writes in detail about and how to create one. But my 10-cent version is to cut out images representing the major goals you want to achieve and put it on white cardboard. Place it near your bed at a location where they are the last thing you see before you fall asleep and the first thing you see in the morning. This will train your subconscious mind to tune in for achieving your goals. It will remind you of the things you want to achieve and put them on the radar. Okay? So I want to give you guys a little tip here. So what I'm reading is Jeff Hamilton's, but just personally, what I do is I actually have a 3-ring binder, and I cut out things and I put them on like a cardstock type, paper. I have different sections. One might be, for you women out there, like hairstyles or different looks. Then I have like a body, the best shape I want to be into. I have pictures of like back. I have pictures of leg. So just defining those areas. Then I have my accomplished goals, like, I want to write my next book by a certain date, or I want to have my next manuscript completed. And then I have, of course, a section for just different things I want to accomplish, or say, I want a Volkswagen Beetle as my retirement car. So I'm saving up for that using small mini goals. So I have it in a 3-ring binder like that with plastic covers. That way I can just flip through it whenever I want. So that's just another method if you don't want to use the, out in the open board. But that is really powerful because even though the 3-ring binder is handy, sometimes people just don't even open it up. But I do. Before I go to bed at night, I open it up. First thing in the morning, I open that up. Okay, now here's a great one. We're going to keep moving on. Using the power of the seasons. Now use the power of the seasons to achieve your goals. This may seem counterintuitive to some, and if you don't like it, that's okay. The rest of the techniques will still help you to achieve your dreams. However, I encourage you to give this a try. Align yourself with nature. Nature follows a seasonal pattern. If you live in the northern hemisphere, the new year comes at the beginning of winter. During winter, days are short, rainy, cold, snowy, and gray. I can attest to this, you guys. The perfect backdrop for an anti-depression medication commercial. Thus, it is very hard to muster the motivation to get going and doing what you want to achieve, using the following pattern instead. Winter. This is the season for dreaming and planning. Don't get into a rush of trying to run 15 miles a week to train for that marathon. Use this season to decide what you want for next year, for planning and to gather the resources like buying books, signing up for a health club membership, research, etc. Use this season for careful planning and task hacking. Get all the resources you need to get your projects, plans, and ideas going. I don't mean by this that you should procrastinate. If there are things you can do during this time, for example, the best deals on gym memberships are during this time, then do it. If you have enough motivation to get some things going, go ahead. Just don't be too hard on yourself if you don't achieve things during this time. Remember, this is the season for dreaming and planning. And again, you guys, this is different for different areas. So spring, now it's time to jump into action and get things moving, just as nature starts to wake up. It's time to ease up and start ramping up with your new year. Spring is truly nature's new year. Go along with it and start moving progressively faster towards your goals. Remember, spring, it's the time for waking up. Next, we have summer, time for action, time to plant the seed of your success and move full steam ahead. Days are longer, thus you have more time and energy to achieve more. And fall, it's harvest time. It's time for slowing down a bit and enjoy the harvest and fruits of your labor. It's time for self-reflection and evaluation of what you have achieved in preparation for the next year. There you have it. This method is very powerful. Perhaps you may not want to do it every year, but even if you do it occasionally, I can assure you, you will see results. I have tried this myself with incredible results. Now, one, either hold yourself accountable or find somebody else who will do it for you. Film yourself in a note to yourself video. Use reminders for keeping track of your goals, etc. For the extroverts, find yourselves a good friend or family member who will hold you accountable and help you cut through your excuses and motivate you through self-pity parties. Somebody who is going to hold your feet to the fire without judging. Very important. And you guys, that's important for anything you do in life. You should have a partner or a friend as far as accountability partner or accountability friend for each area in your life. And if you do that, you will make great strides towards your success. Now, break the major goal into a series of mini goals and reward yourself when you achieve them. If you're going to deprive yourself of dinner in your favorite restaurant until you lose weight, you're going to be off the wagon before it reaches the first pit stop. Try this instead. Set up a goal, let's say losing 10 pounds by March 31st. Your halfway point. If you, or rather when you, reach that goal, reward yourself with something you truly enjoy. It's the psychological principle of anchoring. When you associate anything with something positive, you'll look for, consciously or subconsciously, ways to repeat the pleasant experience. To repeat the pleasant experience, you must achieve a goal. You will be rewiring your brain to get rewards for being goal-achieving orientated. I hope you can appreciate the possibilities of how powerful this technique can be. And you guys, this is something that James Clear talks about in his book too, and people have talked about for centuries, honestly, is when you want to change a habit or create a new goal, you need to associate it with something positive. So for instance, if you're a Netflix binger out there, and that's something that you really enjoy doing, you don't necessarily want to give that up, but you want to get in better shape. And all of your time, though, is taken up binge watching, and then your body suffers and it's not getting in shape. So do something like this. Say, I can watch my favorite episode if I get on a stationary bike and you watched for that episode. So you're doing something as you're watching it, but your mind is associating something positive with hard work, and it's a lot easier to keep a goal that way. Now it could be, doing crunches. It could just be going to the gym, bringing your phone with you, and as you're on the treadmill, you're watching one of your episodes, something like that. Something I do is when I go to the gym, I bring my Beats along. I have my phone there, and there's certain audiobooks that I absolutely love, but they're not necessarily a part of my normal day. So for a treat, when I'm on that treadmill for 45 minutes, I can listen to a particular audiobook I like, and that's my reward. So it's very powerful, you guys, and will help you switch goals, keep goals, and or start new ones. Now, the techniques that we talked about are backed by research, science, and the testimony of many people who have tried them. So use some of them or use all of them. And that's it, you guys. Very powerful stuff in this. These are the ways to keep resolutions that will last. And again, the seasonal thing that Jeff has talked about in this post that I am talking to you about in this podcast, seasonal things are important, especially where I live. I live in the frozen north, so it's very hard to get motivated up here. For instance, right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm snowed in by a blizzard. So I can't go out and run or do anything. In fact, I can't even leave my yard to make it to the gym. So even though I love working out and I have a gym membership, but I have different things set up at home. And then I have different planning things like he's talking about where I can plan for strategies. So if I have a bust day as far as going to the gym, then I just work on planning something for future. So there you guys have it. I hope you have a fantastic new year, and I will talk to you next week. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Urban Wisdom and Natural Living. Tune in next week where I'll broadcast live every Monday morning at 8 a.m. If you miss it live, hold those tears and head on over to my blog, which is heatherearles.com. That's Heather, EARLES.com. There you can have 24/7 access or right here on iTunes. If you want to follow me on social media, you'll find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. Have a healthy week.